for help.
Welcome to J Silver Presents, where we present the best in esports from your favorite professionals. I am joined by Vulcan after, let's just be real, that was a chaotic ending. Thank you so much for joining me, Vulcan.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a banger game, if I can say so myself.
All right, I don't think there's an easy way to start this without going through those last 90 seconds. Walk me through what happened.
Well, basically, we were setting up for the Baron fight that was probably about to happen. So we were around mid, trying to see if we could contest mid prio and exceed to defend the Nash. Because at that point in the game, I felt like they were stronger, and I was kind of surprised that they went top. When in my head, if they go mid S5, it's pretty hard for us to actually beat them. So then we saw them top, and we saw that, I mean, their base is much weaker than ours. I think we had a tier 2 top, and they didn't. And I think our wave was also faster. Well, it's mid wave is always faster than top, right? So we knew that if it came down to a base race, we would win. So we started pushing mid. We made the call to go push mid. Then I told Casper that he should try to, or Inspired that he should try to steal the Nash, because I have Lux ult, and we could combo and maybe steal it, and then the game is over because they don't get the Nash recall. And then the other 3 members were talking about breaking Azir's Banshee, zoning him from being able to wave clear. So it was like a very chaotic moment where everyone kind of needs to understand what their job is. And I think we did a pretty good job at everyone recognizing what you need to do to make this play work. And then I was able to interrupt Gragas' TP with my Q as Lux. Inspired cancelled 2 people, only Jinx was able to base, and then I was very relieved when I saw my screen pan away to the Nexus and the Nexus exploding, because I wasn't sure how I was going over there. I was just doing my best to cancel people, right? And I didn't know what was going on, so I was pleased when I saw it actually worked.
So I'm going to throw a major throwback to you when you got the Baron and RNG took down your Nexus when you were on C9. How does it feel to be on the other side of that?
It is much nicer, yeah, because you feel pretty bad. I mean, the game against RNG, we had a really hard time playing the map, so we kind of felt forced to do it. This time, I think it must feel worse for 100 Thieves, because they must have felt like they had the upper hand in that game for the last, like, 10 minutes. I felt like their comp was in a better state. We had opportunities to close the game out earlier, but we didn't play too well, so then we kind of let them breathe a little bit too much, and they had what I felt like the game in their control. So it sucks when you have it in your control and you let something like that happen and you kind of fumble at the end. So but yeah, it's much better to be on this side of the race.
Yeah, when I was, as a C9 fan, still to this day, I still remember watching that in pain.
I'm sorry, man.
No worries. Let's talk a little bit about Evil Geniuses this year. Last week I had the opportunity to chat with FBI, and bringing 2 of the probably best support and AD in their respective roles into one team. How's it been adapting to FBI's particular playstyle?
It's been pretty smooth. He's a very easygoing guy. He's very chill. He is very open to talking about what happened in lane, talking about the game. He's always like watching his replay and being like, "Yo, here, what do you think about this? Like, I think we should do that." So it's been very easy to get on the same page and trying to bounce ideas off of each other. And I think we're clicking pretty well.
Mm-hmm. And how about introducing another new teammate in Someday, who has very similar traits to that of Impact, with shot calling and tank abilities, but also abilities to carry when needed?
Yeah, he's also very easy to plug into a team. I feel like he's very good at like doing his job consistently, being there for the team. You'll never see him getting stumped in lane, and he's always there. And he also has a lot of experience, so he provides good comms in the game. I remember a few times this game, for instance, where he said good comms when like we weren't on the right track during the game. He was like reminding us sometimes and stuff like that. So very valuable to have him on the team.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the support meta. As you mentioned, you played the Lux. We always see Caitlyn Lux in this particular matchup. However, in this game, the Lux played a lot more of a damage dealer than we may see something more of like a utility. I know you built the Magi Soul Stealer at one point. Is there really the best way to play Lux? Is it more that tank style with shielding, or is it more the damage focus?
The tank style with shielding kind of got nerfed a few years back, if I remember correctly. That's why people don't really do it. Also, when I play Lux, I kind of just... It depends on how much gold I have when I base. I kind of just wing it with my build most of the time, because you have a lot of different items you can go. And this game, I think I got like maybe a couple kills, so I based and I was able to buy a large rod and complete my X-Tech alternator. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm going towards Shadow Flame this game. So I think the AP build is better, but it depends like which item you go, because sometimes you might go Mandate, sometimes you might go Ludens if you got really fed. This game I went Crown because I felt like it was pretty hard for them to pop it easily, and I could get a lot of space for my team and kind of make the Vi not want to ult me, so I could walk up and like get vision with E and stuff like that. So I felt like Crown was a pretty good buy, so I went for that. It varies. You have a lot of different options, depends on the game and the gold you have when you find yourself in Fountain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Every year I get the chance to chat with you. We've chatted at least every year since I started in 21, and every year I ask this question. And your goals always set yourself higher. And when you were on C9, you wanted to win a title. When you were on Evil Geniuses, you wanted to make a farther international run. And now that you are in your third year, you've done a lot of these steps. What do you think is next for you?
Well, it's pretty similar to, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago when Blabber was asked a similar question. And I resonate with his answer a lot, where he said, at this point, he just wants to win more. I just want to win more and kind of establish myself as one of, if not the best North American player to play in the league and be, known as the best all-time support in LCS. I think I'm like starting to get recognition, maybe starting to get in the conversation. I don't have the longevity in my mind to like go above guys like Afromove, for example. So I just want to keep performing at a top level, keep helping my team be the strongest team that we can be, and get trophies. And also, yeah, I mean, that also includes like I want to play well internationally. I want to be able to compete with any team that I play against. I don't want to like go into a game and it to be a wash. I want to, like, if we play against T1, I wanted to, if we're going to lose, I want it to be a banger. I want to be able to take games off of them and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's like a different goals, but they're still similar as to the last few years, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Where do you see the ceiling of this Evil Geniuses team?
Well, I think we can win an A. I think that's for sure. We can definitely win this split. Summer is in a long time, but we probably, I would expect us to be able to compete for it. I mean, you never know, like, in playoffs what might happen with meta, but we're definitely going to be competing for it, and we'll be going to the events wherever it is. I think New Jersey or something. We'll be traveling. And internationally, I think, yeah. I mean, I have a pretty good history of being the best international NA team, whether or not my team wins summer split. Generally, I feel like my teammates and I perform better than some other NA teams. So having a good showing internationally is always a goal, and getting out of groups. So.
Mm-hmm. First, we got to make it to Raleigh. Raleigh first, then Jersey, which hopefully we'll get to see you both there. One of the things that I want to ask a little bit as well is the Super Week. This is the start of the Super Week. You've done Super Weeks plenty of times before, but how do you make sure you are able to focus, especially when these longer weeks have a lot longer of a grind and you have to focus for more than two opponents than you're used to?
I'd say the biggest thing is that you have one less day of scrims, so you need to make sure that you're on top of preparation, especially in draft, because you're going to have less days to see potential matchups. Also, there was a new patch, so you need to test things very fast and kind of establish what you want to play very quickly, prepare for the other team, like knowing what champion you'll ban, so not wasting time practicing against those champions, for example. Stuff like that. I mean, the weekend, it's not the weekend anymore, huh? But the games come at you very fast when you only have 3 days of scrims, so just being on top of it. And then preparation for game day. I mean, I've played a bunch of international tournaments where you play a lot of days in a row. I think MSI's format is like sometimes you're just back to back to back to back to back. Right. So it's something I'm pretty used to. I don't really have a problem with 3 days back to back. So I didn't have to do like anything crazy for preparation personally, but for the team, yeah, just making sure that we're on top of it.
Sounds good. I got 2 more questions for you. Number 1, you are known as the LCS ratioer. Every time there is a tweet, you will always find a way to out-ratio someone. I'm curious this year, is there anyone you really want to out-ratio at some point? Whether it be LCS or just anyone?
Maybe Prince, because he's kind of gaining some traction on Twitter. I feel like maybe a quick ratio after beating them in playoffs or something. That's probably the goal. That would be a good combo. Yeah, because he added me before our game, saying some stuff. So he's in my scope right now.
Well, that's going to be in video, just so you know. Lastly, is there anything you'd like to say to the fans of EG?
Yeah, thank you guys for the support. Keep cheering for us. We'll keep improving. Today's game was pretty mid, but a dub's a dub, and we're improving for playoffs. So that's always what we're looking, towards. And yeah, thanks for the support.
All right, with that, that's all the questions I have. Vulcan, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you throughout the rest of the split.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
DJ is crying for help.